Hey guys, welcome to the beginner's guide to harmonic minor. Harmonic minor is a really nice scale. It kind of gives you that proper nice Latin Spanish vibe, and it's quite a simple way to introduce some more diverse sounds into your playing, because it's pretty much identical to the natural minor scale, or the Aeolian mode, kind of whatever you call it or whatever you know it as. Basically the key difference between harmonic minor and the natural minor scale is just one note. Harmonic minor has a major seventh instead of a minor seventh. So I'm going to show you guys the shape of the scale across 2 octaves, show you kind of all the chords that make up the scale once you've harmonised the scale into sevenths, then show you guys a couple of chord progressions so you can actually kind of use the scale and the chords and start to get the proper kind of sounds out of it instead of just running up and down scale shapes, which I always kind of found a little mundane and pointless. So yeah, let's get started. I'm going to show you guys the scale across 2 octaves in the key of A. The first octave starts on the root note of A, which is the 5th fret on the low E string, and goes 5, 7, 8 on the low E. Then moving on to the A string, goes 5th, 7th and 8th frets. Then goes up to the D string, with the 6th and 7th frets. So that's the first octave. Just run through that again. 5, 7, 8 on the low E string, 5, 7, 8 on the A string, and 6 and 7 on the D. So the second octave starts again on the root note of A, which was where we left off on the 7 on the D. Then goes 4, 5, 7 on the G, 5 and 6 on the B, and 4, 5, 7 and 8 on the high E. Just run through that octave again. Starts on the root, which is the 7th fret on the D. Goes 7 D, 4, 5, 7 on the G, 5 and 6 on the B, and 4, 5, 7 and 8 on the high E. The 5 on the high E is actually the root note, which is the note you're going to want to resolve to, and the 7 and 8 it's just a mirror of what's on the low E. So that's just the second and third of the kind of repeating shape of the scale. Just to run through all that again. Going across both octaves, starting from the 5th on the low E. It's 5, 7, 8 on the low E, 5, 7, 8 on the A string, 6 and 7 on the D, 4, 5 and 7 on the G, 5 and 6 on the B, 4, 5, 7 and 8 on the high E. When you're just kind of running up and down the scale shapes, it probably seems like there's not really much to differentiate harmonic minor from the natural minor. But it's when you start to harmonise it into triads and 7th chords that it really kind of brings out that Spanish vibe and adds some really nice textures to the scale. I'm going to take you through the chords of harmonic minor now. I'm going to go through them quite quickly, but if you don't kind of quite pick up on everything, don't fret, because there's going to be tabs in the description below the video, which will have all the chords laid out, kind of a bit plain there. So if you're not clear on anything, just refer to that at the end of the lesson. The first chord of harmonic minor in the key of A is A minor major 7. It's kind of a really nice, moody, suspenseful, jazzy chord. Starts on the 5th fret on the low E, and it's the middle finger holds the 6 on the D, and your first finger bars the 5 on the B and G strings. So that's. The second chord's the B minor 7 flat 5, which is a 7 on the low E, 7 on the D, 7 on the G, and your first finger comes in and grabs the 6th fret on the B. The third chord's C major 7 sharp 5, which starts the 3rd fret on the A string, then the 6 on the D, 4 on the G, 5 on the B. Fourth chord is the D minor 7. That's 5th fret on the D, 5th fret on the A, 7th fret on the D, 5th fret on the G, and 6th fret on the B string. 5th chord is a E7, which is just a basic E dominant chord. Starts 7th fret on the E, 6th fret on the D, 7th fret on the G, and 5 on the B. The 6th chord is F major 7. That's 8 on the A string, 10 on the D, 9 on the G, and 10 on the B. And the last chord of the key is a G sharp whole half diminished chord. It's a bit of a mouthful, but it's quite a simple chord. Starts on the 11th fret on the A, 12th fret on the D string, 10 on the G, and 12 on the B. So the first progression we're going to take a look at is B.B. King's The Thrill Is Gone. It's an absolute kind of all-time blues classic. It's a great example because it perfectly demonstrates the way a lot of people use harmonic minor, which is mixing it with the natural minor scale in the same chord sequence. A lot of songs that use harmonic minor will flip between kind of harmonic and natural minor scales and kind of contain strong elements of both. So if we're playing, say you're playing lead over the top of that, you play kind of harmonic minor over the harmonic minor chords, natural minor over the natural minor chords. Thrill Is Gone starts on A minor 7, which belongs to natural minor. As you notice, there's no raised 7th like in A minor major 7. So this is A minor 7 from natural minor. Then goes to D minor 7, which is shared by both scales. Those two chords repeat again, so it goes A minor 7, D minor 7 again. Now it goes to F major 7, which again belongs to both natural and harmonic minor, but then to E7, which uses the raised 7th of the scale, making it a harmonic minor. So that's the chord that kind of really brings out the harmonic minor sound, and you want to really, say you're soloing over the top of that, you really want to make good use of that raised 7th to bring out the flavour of the chord. Then the progression resolves to A minor 7 again, so you end back in natural minor. I'm going to play that a little more kind of up to speed with a bit more of a groove now, so you kind of get how it sounds within the context of the song. I think that song's a great example in particular because so many things that use harmonic minor utilise it in that kind of way, using the ambiguous 7th. So some chords will use the 7th degree of the scale as a flat 7th, like the A minor 7, but later it gets played as a raised 7th, like with the E7 chord. The similarity between the scales is what means you can just kind of flip between the raised and flattened 7th within one progression to really kind of spice up the tonality, without actually doing anything that sounds too out of key or bends the listener of the ear very much, which is kind of the really cool thing about harmonic minor. You can just kind of use it quite subtly without really going too out of key or demanding too much from the listener. Yeah, the second example is a little kind of Bosa Nova style rhythm part that I came up with. It demonstrates another very common move you see a lot in Latin guitar, which is this. The little descent's kind of almost the Latin equivalent of the blues going. It's like just a little kind of rhythm trick that you see used all over the place. What's actually happening there is it starts off on a A minor major 7, goes down to a A minor 7, so you're just flattening the 7th from 2. Then you flatten the 7th again to make A minor 6. That chord's just pretty much exactly the same as A minor 7, so you're holding the 5 on the low E, G, B strings, and your first finger's just coming in to grab the 4th fret on the D. So that's A minor 6. That little descent again is just. The progression then goes to F major 7 and then E7, just like The Thrill Is Gone. When I play it through now, I'm going to use kind of a couple of different inversions and little kind of fills and stuff with the chords, but don't worry, it's all going to be in the tab, the description below the video. So the rhythm part in full is. The third example I'm going to show you again uses that ambiguous seventh using both natural and harmonic minor. It's a chord progression I wrote for a band I was playing in for a bit. This example is also in G harmonic with natural minor instead of A. So it's the same chords, the same scale, just transposed down 2 semitones. It's kind of good not to get used to playing the scale and chords just in one key. You want to kind of be able to transpose them up and down the fretboard and just not, get used to moving them around the neck instead of just playing them in the same place all the time. It's just a good thing to get used to. This progression starts with G minor major 7, descend into a G minor 7, so just like that. Then goes up to D sharp major 7, which belongs to both keys, both natural and harmonic minor. Then goes to A minor 7 flat 5, which belongs to both keys, and then the D7, which has the raised 7th of G harmonic minor, so that's a harmonic minor chord. So just to recap, that's G minor major 7, G minor 7, D sharp major 7, A minor 7 flat 5, D7, just kind of that played up to speed with a bit more of a groove, so it just sounds like. It then kind of has a kind of pre-chorus section which is C minor 7, which belongs to both natural and harmonic minor in the key of G, then down to A minor 7, which is natural minor, to D sharp major 7, which belongs to both keys, and then finally F sharp whole half diminished, which is a natural minor chord. So that kind of a bit more up to speed is. There's then just a little chorus section to end it, which is C minor 7 again, which belongs to both keys, A minor 7, which is exclusive to natural minor. That's a different inversion on D7, which you can just find in the tabs if you don't quite recognise it. That's a harmonic minor chord. Then goes to A minor 7 flat 5, then to this inversion of D7. Remember, if you're not kind of 100% clear on anything, you can find all of these chords just tabbed out in the description below the video. So that chorus part goes. So the whole thing kind of ran through all 3 sections. It's just. Resolve into that A minor major 7. Yeah, and that's the lot. So yeah, that's my rundown of the harmonic minor scale, its harmony, and how to go about using it and manipulating it to your own ends. I think kind of the most important thing you should take away from this video is how you really can play around with using harmonic and natural minor in the same progression. You can quite easily blur the lines between the two without it sounding unnatural or forced. And aside from kind of the ways I've shown you of doing it, you'll quite quickly find your own little ways of doing that as you get used to using harmonic and natural minor kind of side by side. You'll probably start to notice it getting used quite a lot in other people's songs as well. Some kind of famous examples is Justin Timberlake uses it quite a bit on his first album. Portishead, Throw It Around a Bit. Glory Box, for instance, I think maybe on Rhodes as well. Slash does a big harmonic minor lick in the main solo of Sweet Child of Mine. It's like the last fast lick before the wah wah section comes in. Harmonic minor is really not kind of as exotic and alien in Western music as you might think. So I hope this vid's helped, and thanks for tuning in, and I hope you guys have fun with it.